Hey, this is Sarah with Life with Training Wheels here for today's daily astrology this Wednesday, October 29th. So this might be a longer video. Normally my daily astrology videos are shorts, but this is going to be a longer one just because there are several things to talk about. So first we have Mercury in Scorpio making a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. We also have Mercury right after that entering into Sagittarius, where it will then make an opposition to Uranus in Gemini. So very Mercury heavy day. And then we also have Mars in Scorpio making a trine to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And then additionally, from what I hear is going on is that 3i Atlas, or whatever it's called, is making a conjunction with the sun. So we are going to kind of go through some of those things and talk about what it might mean. Okay, so I've got the chart up on the screen here. So before Mercury, so it's a very, Mercury is all about our mind and our communication and communication, both receiving information and giving information, or listening and speaking. It is our higher mind as well. It is information coming in. It is travel as well, short distance travel, things like that. So this is a very Mercury heavy day, which I find fascinating that it is such a Mercury heavy mind communication information day on the day that supposedly 3i Atlas is making a conjunction with our sun, potentially, depending on who you listen to and what you think and all those things. We're not exactly sure what it is, but there is theories that, whenever anything travels through our galactic sphere, our space, that it's, whether it's comets or planets or stars or whatever, that it's bringing information to us. So no matter how you look at this being such a Mercury heavy day of information and communication, and then this 3i Atlas object, whatever it is, coming in, potentially bringing information to us, right? And information, we're multi-sensory beings, right? We have our five senses, right? But we really have way more sensory perception than that. We're just not aware of that. And personally, I think that is a lot. They say that we only really use 2% of our DNA, and that the rest of it is junk, which I don't buy that it's junk. But, I think that the DNA of ours that isn't activated is really this, our additional sensory perceptions that we don't have or have not been taught or learned how to access, right? Such as there's people that can put on blindfolds and read what you put in front of them. There's telepathic communication. There's so many abilities that we have that we haven't been taught. And I feel like perhaps this 3i Atlas, and apparently the 6 or so comets that are following behind it, are just bringing us a lot of information. And when the sun and whatever it is conjunct with, the sun is really shining a light on it, right? And apparently there's also a lot going on with our sun this day with coronal mass ejections, which also brings in light codes and information to us as well. And it's not necessarily, something that, it's not necessarily information that that we're hearing in our perception of communication that way, but it could be, other information that we're getting that we are integrating either into our own bodies or into the collective consciousness as a whole, which will then filter down into a way that we can hear it. So I find that fascinating. But so let's walk through kind of what Mercury is going through. So right before Mercury moved into Sagittarius, it's making this trine here to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury in Scorpio overall wants to go deep into things, wants to dive into the shadows, wants to dig for the truth of the matter. Mercury in Scorpio really wants to find the truth, find the root of things, go into those depths, those darks, uncover secrets, uncover fears, things like that. And Mercury here making a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Neptune retrograde in Pisces is looking at those places where maybe we have been deceived, either through our own deception of self or through being deceived by others. It's also where, Neptune has these two qualities of being the dreamer, the visionary, oneness, compassion, all those things, but it's also where we can be delusional, see things with rose-colored glasses, and, be taken by propaganda and things like that, be deceived. So this Mercury trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces, I think, is really digging for the truth of where have we been deceived? Where have we deceived ourselves, and where have we deceived others? And maybe bringing some of those things to light. And then right after that, we have Mercury moving into Sagittarius, where Sagittarius is more this big picture energy, right? So Scorpio wants to dig deep for the truth. Sagittarius is more this big picture, wanting to look at the big picture, wanting to explore things. So this could be finding truths and then wanting to explore, well, what does that mean, right? Let's go on an exploratory adventure. Let's go on an adventure exploring what these truths that we've uncovered that might be paradigm shifting, what does that mean? Sagittarius also represents belief systems. So maybe there's some information coming through, and maybe this 3-eye atlas is going to really, for us individually and collectively, change belief systems, right? Like maybe we figure out what it is. Maybe, the information that is coming through to us from it, maybe it's planting seeds of new belief systems based on the information that it is giving us. Maybe we're going to be able to see the big picture of things a little bit better. Maybe I don't know exactly, but maybe things of that nature are going to be coming through. And then once in Sagittarius, Mercury is going to be making this opposition to Uranus in Gemini, and they are both at 0 degrees, both at the birthing point, the beginning point, the initiation point. Okay, so this opposition to Uranus retrograde in Gemini, again, like I said, Mercury in Sagittarius wants to discover new things. It's new ideas. It's new long distance travel as well, which we have information potentially coming in through this long distance intergalactic travel, right? Maybe we're discovering that that's something that's possible. Who knows what we're discovering on this day, but that's fascinating as well. But so this opposition, it's right, it's at 0 degrees, so it's new. And then with Uranus retrograde at 0 degrees in Gemini, Gemini is also information and communication and technology. And Uranus is the planet of disruption, right? It's where we want to break out of the box, do and think things differently, break the paradigms that we have been captured under. also, I said technology, I said communication, travel as well. Gemini represents travel. So I just think all of these things with the conjunction of 3i Atlas and the sun and shining a light on that is just fascinating astrological timing, which is one of the reasons I find astrology so fascinating. But again, this being at 0 degrees at the birthing point, I really feel this is the chance for new beginnings in regards to information and potentially travel, air travel, things of that nature. So it's just super, super fascinating. But the nature of an opposition is balance too, right? So balancing these new ideas, this new exploration. Sagittarius is also exploring its adventure with this, all this Uranus and Gemini energy of breaking out of the boxes. So it's like figuring out, although these go very well together, it's kind of balancing the newness of this information coming in with breaking old patterns and things like that. And like maybe it's just a cautionary tale of not getting too overwhelmed with whatever is coming in and maintaining balance between our sense of adventure and not that Gemini is very grounded. Gemini is kind of flighty and things like that. So this could just be like a very energetic feeling day. This could be a good day. Gemini is, our hand, so it could be a good day for journaling anything that is coming, any information that is coming to us. But I feel this opposition kind of more as like an overwhelm of mental activity going on. And it could be that that you're having like Uranus and Gemini can be sudden flashes of insight, sudden insights coming to you. So it can be felt on more of an internal level than an external level. And those could be, those sudden insights or whatever could be, Sagittarius represents our belief systems and Mercury is our mind. So these sudden insights coming through could be, more paradigm shifting. And so we don't know exactly what to do about that. So those are things that could be happening this day as well. And then the last thing that's happening in an exact conversation is Mars in Scorpio is making a trine to Saturn in Saturn retrograde in Pisces. My daughter is coming to listen, so she is here for this last part of today's astrology. She just woke up. It's why she's got her cute little sleeping hat on.
It's a bonnet.
Whatever. But anyway, so Mars in Scorpio, right, Mars gives us the motivation, the drive to go deep into the shadows of Scorpio, to dig for the truth of the matter. And trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces, this is giving us the Saturn retrograde in Pisces is where we are tearing down potentially old structures that no longer serve us, collectively on a more personal level, looking at subconscious patterns that we may have had, like things that we've built our life on, foundations that may no longer serve us. Or perhaps on the other side of things, Saturn is boundaries. So where have we not had any boundaries that we need to actually start having some boundaries with? So Mars is giving us the motivation and the desire to really look at those things and dive into looking at what patterns we don't need and transforming it into something that is going to serve our highest and best good in the future. So just a fascinating day of astrology, and I can't wait to look at this day in hindsight and see what happened. But I really think that, especially with the 3-eye atlas and all this information, all this Mercury stuff going on, that this whole day is going to be very fascinating as to what information comes through. But I think that's where I was going. I think it is really just going to be like a seeding point. I'd love to hear comments about anything that is coming through for you today, but I really think that it is like a seeding point of information that is going to kind of trickle out over the next whoever knows how long. So just, keep whatever senses you have open, and be open to hearing and understanding new information as it comes into your awareness and into the awareness of the collective. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here tomorrow.